The synergy between arachidonic acid and Slin pills. These work through completely different growth pathways, so they don't necessarily have synergy amongst themselves as far as on the same growth pathway, the same way like two different anabolics might have of different nature might have synergy on the same anabolic androgen receptor pathway. Instead, in the anabolic matrix, I show all of the main growth pathways to build muscle. And the best way, the fastest way, the most efficient way, the healthiest way to build the muscle in the shortest period of time possible and have the best long-term quality health is to approach each growth pathway, to not leave a growth pathway out. So the problem that a lot of people have is they spend a lot of time thinking about anabolics and the androgen receptor, and they ignore things like growth hormone, insulin, and inflammation. Well, two of the other most important growth pathways are the insulin pathway and the inflammation pathway. The Slin pills are one of the most powerful things next to injectable insulin. So injectable insulin being the most powerful thing for the insulin pathway, the second most powerful thing being Slin pills. Amazing thing is that they can work together. So someone can actually use insulin and the Slin pills in synergy. Or if someone doesn't want to use injectable insulin, they can use the Slin pills themselves, and they are by themselves powerful enough to make a very noticeable difference as far as body composition and building muscle and burning fat and enhancing the nutrient absorption into the muscles, because it doesn't matter how anabolic you are, how much you rest, how much you eat. If you don't actually get the nutrients into the muscle, it's useless. Everything is useless. So Slin pills get things into the muscle, carbs into muscle, nutrients into muscle. They offset the insulin desensitization that can happen during using more hardcore chemistry. Now, the arachidonic acid works through the inflammation pathway, totally different pathway. When you work out and you get sore, what you're doing is creating inflammation, and the inflammation is the signal to the body to heal the muscle. The more inflammation, temporary, I'm not talking about long-term chronic inflammation and outside of the muscle cell, that's not what we're going for. This is short-term, temporary inflammation inside the muscle cell to exaggerate muscle growth, to cause muscle growth to grow much faster, to exaggerate the healing response. It also sensitizes the muscle cells to your own natural hormones like testosterone and IGF. So even if you aren't using anabolics, you could use arachidonic acid, and it's almost like you're on anabolics because your muscle cells become more sensitive to your natural hormones that build muscle. And for the enhanced athlete that is taking these hormones, it makes them work even better. We hear about people talking about resensitizing androgen receptors, refreshing androgen receptors. There's a number of ways to do that, but the easiest, most efficient way and most time-tested way is increasing muscle inflammation, which is done by exercise, but also by amplifying the inflammation response by using arachidonic acid. So as you can see, taking the Slin pills and the arachidonic acid together are highly synergistic because they're approaching the muscle cells from two different growth pathways.